go. The Cowboys rookie minicamp is wrapping up today, and new head coach Brian Schottenheimer spoke about the changes he's already made in Dallas, moving Dak Prescott's locker next to Micah Parsons, and then he explained the adjustments that he made in their first team meeting.
We moved some guys around. This year I did, along with the help of the staff. Again, they don't really get a say in that. But there's a method to the madness. I think when the guys went into the team room for the first time, I made them all stand up after they sat down. I let them sit down, and I had them stand up, and I had them move seats. Why? It's a new year. It's 2025. We'll do that in 2026. We'll do that in 2027 and beyond. I think it's just when you start a new year, do something different, change something up. So it's something that's talked about, thought about, but there's a method to the madness at times.
Okay, so let's start with you. One could argue there's been a lot of madness there.
A hell of a lot of madness.
What's the most effective way you think Schotty can change things as the new head coach?
Yeah, I think building a culture and trying to insulate this locker room away from all of the things that go on revolving around the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, the media attention, all the things that transpire that are very unimportant to actually winning games on the field. And I'm actually a byproduct of this. Like, Bill Parcells had strategic ways that he placed lockers. He put a lot of veterans by each other. He put leaders by each other. Sometimes he would put veterans by young guys who had to contribute that particular year. So whatever Brian Schottenheimer method is, hopefully is something that's going to create a culture where the outside influences can't infiltrate that. Dallas is unique in that way, where you almost got to make this the coaching staff and the locker room against everything else as far as attention goes, so you can strictly focus on football and be one group trending in the same direction and let the madness go on the outside.
I think, Swagoo, to that point almost, like the key aspect of the Brian Schottenheimer hire as head coach for Dallas is that he's not coming in from the outside. He's part of that culture, right? Like he's for better or for worse, like he's been around and he knows how things work there. And so when you come in and make changes, if you're the new guy and you're coming in from somewhere else, it's possible that the players react in a way like, hey, who's this guy think he is? Not so in this case, because they already know Brian Schottenheimer. And quite frankly, from what I've been told, they like him. I think this is a hire that went over pretty well, from what I understand, in the Cowboys locker room with the players. I think they're happy for him and eager to give him a chance to put his stamp on it. So whatever changes are being made, I think the players are likely, into it and excited about what he might bring to the party. But it was interesting. He sounds very optimistic, talking about we'll make these changes again next year and the year after that and the year after that. He expects to be there a while.
Yeah, and listen, he may not be a new face, as you point out, Dan, but there are plenty of them there. I mean, we talked last week about all those needs that the Cowboys had going into the draft. Did they address their most important ones?
Yes and no. I'm really torn
yes
on
and
this
no.
draft class. Marcus and I were watching the picks come in together and saw that because I actually like a lot of their picks, right? You start with Tyler Booker. Guard was a need, and they have such a good track record when it comes to drafting offensive linemen. Donovan Izaraku out of Boston College, a very technically refined, productive pass rusher, also a need opposite Micah Parsons, who's about to get paid. And then I really love the addition of Siobhan Revel Jr., who's a cornerback out of East Carolina, who I really think would have gone a lot higher had he not been injured last season. Again, cornerback, also a need. But I don't know how they came out of this draft without a single wide receiver. That was perhaps the most glaring need of all of them, maybe outside of running back. And I do wish that they added some help, not just for Dak, but someone to take a little bit of attention off of CeeDee Lamb. Amari Cooper is still out there as a free agent, so that's someone I would keep my eye on. But, yeah, it's kind of a mixed grade for me, Hannah.
Yeah.
MK, we were sitting in the hotel lobby, the wonderful Residence Inn in Green Bay, and we were going through these picks and trying to decipher, what was the need. Shout out to, first of all, staff, phenomenal. Very nice people, took very good care of us. But the Tyler Booker thing for me was more about, obviously we talked about the potential of having to replace Zach Martin, and usually offensive linemen, especially the ones that Dallas draft, they become stalwarts. They play a long time. They've been tremendous in that area of drafting guys. But to Mina's point, we were all sitting there at 12, like, are they going to take Ted McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona?
Didn't last so long.
and Carolina traded up and took him. And I have some ideas now after the draft that was a thought. If he was available, that he would be a guy that would hold significant weight between the two, whether we would go over
he wasn't
or
there.
offensive playmaker. So to your point, it's going to have to happen through free agency. They're going to have to find a young diamond in the rough. And they also traded for a young wide receiver out of Carolina last year, and it made everybody scratch their heads, but seemingly high on him.
Yeah,
Scratching my head on that one.
Averaged 21 points a game last year, so they have to do something offensively.
No.
That was their fewest in a season since 2015. Of course, Dak is healthy and coming back. I know it did. I'm sorry, Swagoo. I didn't mean to hurt you.
How do you hope?
Well, hello, good people and Eagle fans. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Let's say hello to the lovely ladies. Help me, Rhonda. Oh, wrong one. Help me, Rhonda. How you doing tonight, Rhonda? I see Jimbo is back. Now, let me say with feeling now, I love my moderators. You guys are great and all that. But, be careful who you ban. Now, I know Eagle fans like Leo are pains in the asses and things like that. But like Jimbo, he got banned. He's been here a long, long time. And things to try to be careful on banning people, okay? You got to let people have their conversation and their talk and so on and everything else. And, of course, we got Holly Pierce up in the house. Tay Cowboys is up in here. How you doing, Tay? Chris Miller's in. Sugar Daddy. Stacy White. What's up, Stacy? Thomas Garrett in the house. Let's see. Derek Young's here. Leo, of course, is here. Alan Williams, Tay Cowboys. Lady, God. I can't speak. Boy, I can't speak tonight. Forgive me. Jeez. I see North of the Borders in here. Alan Williams in here. Lady Libra's in here. Derek Young. Sugar Daddy. Welcome, everybody. So it is Monday night. We've got the rookie mini camp out the way. And I want to say this. I want to say this correctly. So let me get my thoughts here together to make sure that I come across the right way. Let me say, I love things that the Cowboys have done this offseason that are the polar opposite of what we've done in past years. In past years, we have been, or I shouldn't say we, because it's not me, it's Jerry and Stephen Jones and the Dallas Cowboys organization, that they feel that they are the 800-pound gorilla in the room, that they can do whatever the hell they want to, that they don't have to be in a rush to do anything, and that everybody will kowtow to them. Because in the end, whether they win or lose, it doesn't matter. They're not going to lose money. They're not going to lose people coming to the stadium. They're still going to be rich. And herein lies, I think, part of the problem. Because, yeah, we're Cowboy fans. You know, we might not show up for the games quite as much and so on. But you can believe that when I was there watching the game in Pittsburgh, the game against Philadelphia, when the season was over, when Cooper Rush was playing, that the tours at the stadium were still going on Saturday. That people were still coming, paying that $49 to see the mausoleum for Jerry Jones. That the fans were still there, albeit not the local ones, but ones that took advantage of the prices being a little cheaper. Didn't matter because Jerry Jones already got his season ticket money. And the thing is not everybody has it like that. Here's the thing with the Eagles. Leo will confirm it. Jimbo will confirm it. Logan Motorsport will confirm it. if Howie Roseman doesn't do his job, he's gone. He's gone. If they're not winning, the fans are rioting, burning the mother humper down, not showing up, and they're not making money. They have a healthy fear of not winning. Do you think Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones have a fear of that? You think that they're worried that they're not going to have enough money to buy gas for their yacht? Do you think they're worried about being fired? No. They know. Lola, what's up, Lola? How are you doing tonight? They know that they can serve us a pile of shit and tell us that it's filet mignon, and we'll suck it up. They are so good at this shit. How many times last year did they sell us on wide receiver? Jalen Tolbert, we got Brandon Cooks. Okay, well, Brandon Cooks is older and has got an infection in his knee. Well, Jalen Tolbert's going to step up in there. After literally telling us, well, we paid CeeDee Lamb and, he's getting all the lion's share of the money, so he's going to have to get more touches in there. You're not going to win that way. You're not going to win with one freaking weapon. You're just not. And here we are, after doing that experiment, after basically saying, Dak and CD, it's on you two guys. We don't care about running the football. We're not going to invest in a Derrick Henry to try and help you. We're going to get Zeke. We're going to get Dalvin Cooks. Who cares that they're past their prime? And then what do? Jerry literally told us how good Ryan Fennoy is going to be. I can't wait for that Ryan Fennoy. He's got Dez Bryant in him. He's got Regina Green, what's up? I get a sales job. And if that wasn't enough, then they go through and they trade for Jonathan Mingo. And they try and tell us, well, we had a second round grade on him coming out in college, and we believe that he's a great value. We don't mind spending that fourth round pick on him, and he's going to be doing great things. So how many times are we going to keep falling for the same bullshit? Now, I hear, now that we're getting discussions internally about Amari Cooper, and this is no disrespect to Amari Cooper. Lady Libra, I apologize. Must be too much pressure in my head or something. I'm about to bust. I call him a fish because Jerry was fighting that pick around for a deal with his ego. But here's the thing. If you are supposed to be America's team and the Cowboys, and that, excellence is supposed to be everything, then why is it we keep going for second best? Now, Rhonda, I will honestly say Amari's an upgrade from the guys, but Amari's not the same guy he was 3 years ago, and Amari 3 years ago had a lot of nagging injuries, had an attitude issue sometimes, and would check out, and had a disagreement with the Cowboys. This is, to me, this is bringing Zeke back after you cut him the year before. Oh, we'll bring him back. This is Jason Witten after he went to the Raiders and having a year off of sucking in the booth. Bringing him back. How much of an impact did we get from those guys? See, here's the thing. I'm sick and tired of being told how we can't spend money. How we can't spend money It costs too much money. I literally, every time I hear this, I want to throw the F up. Let me pull up something here. Let me grab it real quick. And let me ask you, if the Cowboys, hypothetically, let's say the Cowboys went out there and they made some major moves, right? Now, I think that before everybody gets mad at me, I think we had a great draft. I think we had a draft that's so good that the Joneses will get high on their supply and say, man, boy, we got so much first-round talent in this draft, man. That Tyler Booker may be the best guard in football. He's going to be able to get plugged right in there and give us an instant impact. Well, here's the reality of it, though. Here's the reality of it. If he comes out and is playing great, guess what? All you did was replace Zach Martin. How is the offense better? How is the offense better if you only replaced an all-pro? Now, you got Donovan. Easy may be a great pass rusher. He may be a great pass rusher. He's going to be great in the rotation because you end up having, of course, Dante Fowler and Micah Parsons. You have him. You got Marshawn Nealon. Yeah, that's great. That's great. We can rush the passer from the edges. What about the middle of the field? What about stopping the run? Right? Now, I know we got Jay Tola. Okay, I get it. Okay, that's potential. But you guys do realize that interior defensive tackles usually take 3 or 4 years before they really get up to speed. That's why I still have hope in Mozzie. And this feels like the same hope that we've gotten before. I like those. Now, I like our young running backs that we got there. Blue, yeah, he might be giving some people some blues. That may be an upgrade from where we are, right? But as we sit here, we are still trying to replace the production that we had from Amari Cooper. I put out a video earlier today, and I was going through the numbers of Brian Schottenheimer and why Game Time, I see Game Time's in here. Game Time is like, I'm not worried about the number 2 receiver. Well, damn it, I am. Screw you, Brian. I'm worried about the damn number 2 wide receiver. I'm not ready to be satisfied with Jalen Tolbert or Jonathan Mingo as my number 2 wide receiver. When the Cowboys were busting a hump, I just want you to say, this is what Brian Schottenheimer is hoping to get out of his offense. Listen to this now. You had, in 2021, Dak Prescott, 4,400 yards passing, 37 TDs, 10 interceptions.
Oh, shit!
You had 2,000 yards running the football. That wasn't with the Saquon Barkley. That was with Zeke Elliott getting slightly above 1,000 yards and Tony Pollard getting about 700. You ended up having CeeDee Lamb with like 1,100 yards, 1,200 yards, and Amari Cooper with like 890. But then you had Dalton Schultz, who had about 800. And then you had a guy like Cedric Wilson, because you had a tight end that you had to worry about, and because you had CeeDee Lamb, who was a young pup, who could go all the way to the house, and then you had a great route runner with younger legs, with Amari Cooper, because you could spread the field out there. There were too many guys to cover. Cedric Wilson had a career year of 600 yards. Why? Because he hasn't been able to produce more than 220 yards in any season since then. So is it he's a great receiver? Like, Philly 500 tries to say, well, you had Cedric Wilson. Dak Prescott in that offense made Cedric Wilson for that year. Cedric Wilson hasn't busted a grape anyplace else other than with Dak Prescott. And that, my friends, is what you want for an offense. Because it's like the death of 1,000 cuts. You don't know where it's coming from. You stop CD, okay. There's Amari over there. You get both of those guys covered, well, Tony Pollard can catch out the backfield. You got Tony Pollard covered? Well, there's a relief valve in Dalton Schultz. And if that doesn't work and we got short yardage, you had a younger Zeke Elliott who could pound it in for a couple of yards. And if it ended up being a shootout, well, let's get 5 wideouts and let's go ahead and get Cedric Wilson out there. That is what you had with Brian Schottenheimer when he was the offensive coordinator with the Seattle Seahawks. That's what the offense looks like. So when he says running the football, and we had 3 years of him being the offensive coordinator, it's like 35-plus TD passes a year, about anywhere from 3,500 to 4,200 yards passing. But it's also 2,000-plus yards running the football. So when Brian says, hey, we're going, everybody's got this, I think in their head when they say Brian Schottenheimer says, I want to run the football. It's not going to be like his daddy where we got Christian Okoye and Barry Word and we're going to run 75% of the time. It's basically being balanced because Mike McCarthy throws the ball like 65% of the time and only about 35 running it. So by definition, if you just get balanced, hell, that looks like you're running the football a lot. And we're being snow jobbed right now because we have been ass at number 2 wide receiver since Amari Cooper left, that we are saying, oh my God, thank you. Amari Cooper has got mutual interest. You know why Amari Cooper's got mutual interest with the Cowboys? Because nobody else has interest in him. Of course he does. He wants to get another paycheck. Ain't nobody beating down the doors for him right now. And this is the same cheap shit that we keep getting from the Joneses. Listen, I keep hearing, well, the Cowboys don't want to give up any draft capital for him. You know what? One of the best moves that the Eagles made was giving up a first-round pick for A.J. Brown. For A.J. Brown. Every year, he's a 1,000-yard receiver. You don't think he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver next year and the year after? That they get this scratched off the list. People say, oh, we'll just get Amari Cooper for another year. Oh, you mean like we did with Brandon Cooks and we pay him $19 million for 900 freaking yards? Do you now think that Amari Cooper, after having only 500 some odd yards, less than Jalen Tolbert had last year, that he's now the answer? That you think now he's going to go back to being a 1,000-yard receiver that's going to really help you get to a Super Bowl? Is that what you actually think? Sorry, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. You got to go out and get legitimate. Because what happens is we just set Dak up. We put Noah Brown, and he's our number 2 leading receiver a year. Brandon Cooks with 600 and some yards is our leading receiver. Jalen Tolbert. Guys, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I hate the fact that here we are, the Cowboys get you sucked in because they bring back and they sign Osa Odighizuwa. You say, oh my God, that's really good. That we're on the cusp of getting Micah Parsons' deal probably done, that they go out and they have a great draft. What's maddening is they do so many things good, but they fuck around. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry, Dad. Forgive me. They F around and they don't use everything available to them. Look at this. Here's the thing. We sit here and we say, we got to have, we got Micah, we got Dak, and we got CD. And, we can just fill it in with just a bunch of guys. If we go to the Eagles right now, okay? The Eagles, let's have some fun here with this, okay? The Eagles currently are sitting on $24 million of cap space. They just signed Cam Jordan after 3 years, their center. They got him locked up for the next 4 years after his 3rd year. They got their quarterback at $21 million. I know you're going to say, well, he gets a lot less money than Dak Prescott. Well, it's the way you structure it. It's the understanding of void years and being able to manipulate the money. And also, too, they've thrown a lot of their contracts into the future where they know that salary cap's going to go up And we have no problem getting rid of people if we don't think they can play. Because I can look here and I can say, they got Devarius Slay right here, right? Big play Slay. The Eagles will go through and say, you know what? We can do better than that. Get rid of his ass. We're done. We'll go on. We'll get somebody else, right? Bradbury. We'll go through. We'll take the dead hit on those. We'll move on, and we'll get somebody younger or somebody better. They had Miles Sanders, right? He wasn't good enough. They said, we'll move on, and we'll get Swift, right? Swift had a decent season. Well, Swift was nice, but you know what? We need more. We need more. We don't need to go back and say, let's bring back Miles Sanders, which is like what we did, bringing back Zeke. No, they say, we get rid of somebody, we get somebody better, right? You know, if the roles were reversed and Big Play Slay was on our team and Bradbury, they'd still be on our team until they literally couldn't walk any longer. They would be. And here it is, we're taking the running back from the Eagles that they got rid of 2 years ago, and we're happy with that. We're happy the fact that a guy that we've had problems with 3 years ago and said he was too expensive, now that he's broke down and on his way out, oh, this is a good idea now. Come on, man. But here's the thing. Let's just take a look at 2029 for the Eagles. Now, this is about getting a group of guys, young, a core group of people that are young that can stay together like the Dallas Cowboys did in the 90s. We basically started this whole clock over. We wiped the slate clean. You know, we got Michael Irvin, we got Emmitt Smith, we got Troy Aikman and everything. All these guys are all about the same age. And they were able to stay together to get to know each other, to know the tendencies, to know the offense to the nth degree, and we're able to continuously win over and over and over again. You can't keep bringing guys in for a 1 year, 2 year rental and think that they're going to be able to play. You also can't say, I'm going to bring in a half-ass player and think that I'm going to be good. Now, the Eagles in 2029 have spent $294 million. $294 million. Now, do you expect that Saquon Barkley is still going to be in the roster in 4 years? Probably not. But they understand, I will take Saquon right now in his prime and have, you know, the hardcore group of my team together, and we're going to go ahead and run and try and win as many as possible before we reset the clock. And for all those that say, well, you don't want to be in cap hell, that if we go ahead and do things like that, we won't be able to, you know, we're going to be screwed over. It's a time bomb that's going to blow up. People, the Eagles went to the Super Bowl and won it in 17. And they really did not skip a beat. They didn't go down to being a 2-win team. This team that won the Super Bowl is totally different than the one that went before. And so I ask you, as we sit here with the Cowboys and they keep telling us, well, we can't afford a wide receiver. Guys, they got Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, and their cap numbers are $17, $7 million, and I'll throw in Saquon Barkley is only $7 million. They're doing laps around us. I'm sure Eagle fans right here, most Dallas fans don't live in reality. That's why when one of your guys talks like this, y'all get mad. He's telling you the truth. I know people are, because people always, why are you so negative? Listen, I tell you, I am excited about Tyler Booker. I love his attitude. I love the way he speaks. I love his leadership qualities. I love the fact that he's calling out, you know, the biggest guy on the yard, the meanest, nastiest son of a bitch. I ain't scared of you, mother humper. I ain't scared of you. We gonna battle. We gonna dance. I like that, as opposed to a guy that's cowering in the corner and shaking in his boots. I love that. I love EZ. I love the running backs that we got. I love my quarterback. I'm not disputing that. I love the guys we found that are undrafted rookie free agents. Finding a Kayvon Turpin, finding a Brandon Aubrey, finding a Terrence Steele. But the problem is they only do 90% They're not turning over every rock like the Eagles are. The Eagles, their whole thing is get me the player and I'll figure out a way to do it. We sit here and say, well, we can't do that without even trying. We settle for shit. And this is an organization that went out and they got Charles Haley. They went out and they got Deion Sanders to perform. Bobby Beninsky, getting Dak weapons, doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh, I know you. Yeah. Jalen Carter will probably be signed, well before Tyler Smith will. I know that. We all know that. It's day one, they'll be ready to do it. And we sit here and all we do is we say, well, Dak sucks. Well, Dak just sucks. That's my frustration. And forgive me if I'm a little coarse and I probably turn some people off. But I'm tired of us constantly saying, oh, well, we'll just get Amari Cooper for a year or two. Guys, we have been doing a year or two. Every year it's been a different number 2 wide receiver with the same results. About 600 yards. You don't believe me? Let me show you. Let me go back to this real quick with the Eagles. Because the problem we have is the Cowboys are so arrogant that Stephen Jones thinks that he does good with contracts. Look at this. Let me read these off to you. Jalen Hurts cap number for this year, $21 million. Lane Johnson, $18 million. You know, $18 million is what we're actually paying for Terrence Steele. Lane Johnson and Terrence Steele have the same cap number this year. A.J. Brown, $17 million this year. Jordan Mailata, $15 million. Dallas Goedert, who may be gone, $11 million. Devontae Smith. You want to hear a crazy one here, guys? This literally will blow your mind. I want you to think about this when I say this. Devontae Smith is $7.5 million for a cap hit this year for the Eagles. We're paying $8.5 million in dead money for Michael Gallup.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
Let me say that again. We're paying more money for Michael Gallup not to be here because of the mistake we made on this contract than the Eagles are paying for Devontae Smith. I'll put another one for you as we go through and say, let's just sign another, 2-year deal. Brandon Cooks is a $4 million cap hit this year. You're spending $13 million on 2 guys that were failed wide receivers, and they're telling us we have to go cheap because they keep making the same mistakes. If you take what we have done trying to replace Amari Cooper from 3 years ago, between paying Michael Gallup, paying Brandon Cooks, between drafting Jalen Tolbert, between trading for Jonathan Mingo, and drafting Jalen Brooks, who probably will be a cap casualty this year, you've spent more money than what A.J. Brown's getting paid every year. We have literally spent more money on our number 2s, draft capital. Well, not draft capital. We need to spend a number 1. But we've spent more money on getting average guys instead of going out and getting a legitimate person. Regina Green. What's up, Regina? And this is where I feel like, I don't know if any of you ever had somebody that you care about that's an addict, addicted to alcohol or drugs, and you know that they're making a mistake that's screwing up their lives, and you keep trying to tell them over and over and over again, and they're going to, exactly what's going to happen. You know it, and they won't listen. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You know what you're talking about. And I'm sorry. Getting Amari Cooper, Gina Dallas Diva. Amari Cooper 3 years ago wasn't enough. How is a 3-year older Amari Cooper going to be enough now? This is everybody who said, well, we shouldn't have got rid of Zeke, man. Zeke was, you see Zeke, man, in New England, he was feasting, man. We should have brought him back. And we went through, there was a game where Amari Cooper had 200 some odd yards, one game with Cleveland. Everybody goes crazy. Cowboys should have never got rid of him. But take a look at all the other games. How did he do in Buffalo with Josh Allen last year? Michael Fife, what's going on, man? How you doing? Mark, unfortunately, there's no interview for Jerry. You can't tell Jerry. Yeah, you can't. Unfortunately, you can't tell Jerry and Steven Jack. And the sad part about it is I believe they've really done some great things. When I start hearing Brian Schottenheimer, I got a man crush on Brian Schottenheimer. And for those out there that keep saying, well, Brian Schottenheimer, he's been an assistant for all these years. Well, bro, which is better? Brian Schottenheimer, who's been an offensive coordinator who took the Jets the last time they went to the playoffs, he was the offensive coordinator with them that took butt fumble to the AFC Championship game a couple times. The guy who was also offensive coordinator for Seattle, who for 3 years had Russell Wilson with like 30 TD passes a year plus. I look at that and say, that's a pretty good resume. Ben Johnson, okay, he's been the offensive coordinator for 3 years with the Lions. Okay. They have a stacked team and a great head coach. Are you telling me that Ben Johnson's 3 years with the Lions is more than the 4 years of Schotty being an offensive coordinator with the Jets, going to AFC Championship games, or being with Seattle and having Russell Wilson cooking? No. This guy right now, he's got the respect of the players. He's actually going through there and saying, we're going to get out of the rut. We're going to change what we do. We're going to change the way we eat. We're going to change the way we run, right? Remember the Titans. And he is creating a culture with the players. He's getting his kind of guys. Talk the talk, walk the walk, and be a solid citizen. That you're going to be accountable to each other and the team. I think that's incredible. I think it's incredible. The only worry I have is him being head coach and actually being the head coach. I don't know that Jason Garrett was actually really the head coach. I think Jerry was. Can he do that as well as call the plays too? That may be too much with him being new. That's my only worry about Schottenheimer. I can't say the same for Jerry and Steven. Ghostface Gaming. Dak is falling off. 3-5 record last year. Oh, okay. Ghostface Gaming. Bro, you can say that about Dak all you want. Dak went into a season. Bobby Miniski. Shout out to Bobby for being a member for 5 months. You know what? I love how it's only Dak Prescott. The fact that we started the season with 2 rookies, offensive linemen. 2. One became a really good player and only gave up 3 sacks. I can't say the same about Tyler Guyton. Dak, when he was here playing, those games he was playing, we averaged running the ball 62 yards a game. 62. Our defense in some of those games that we played in, bro, we couldn't force a punt 2 games, we could not stop them on 4th down one freaking time. Excuse me, on 3rd down. Not one time. And you had one receiver. Your number 2 wide receiver, Brandon Cooks, had a knee infection. And Jake Ferguson was injured. So if you only have one person to throw to, because you didn't have a tight end, you didn't really have a number 2. Jalen Tolbert was okay when he didn't check out, when he didn't disappear. You were one-dimensional with rookie offensive linemen, and you're running for your life. And you're playing the Baltimore Ravens. You're playing a hot New Orleans and a Detroit Lions. When I look at that, I can't put all that on the quarterback. Oh, mind you, his number 1 target didn't even have training camp. He came in 2 weeks before the season started. Oh, so to come in here and say, well, Dak just sucked right then. Everything freaking sucked. Half the team was injured. You couldn't run the football. We didn't even know. Listen, from one week to the next, we didn't know who was going to be the run. Well, I guess it's Dalvin Cook's time. Oh, no, it's Zeke's time. Oh, let's try Rico this time. We had nothing. Yeah, well, we literally had Jerry Jones out here. Thank you, Game Time. We literally had Jerry Jones out here talking up Ryan Fenoy. You know, that Ryan Fenoy. I can't wait to see Ryan Fenoy get his first catch. He's got some Dez Bryant in him. Come on, man. That team was so set up for failure, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. They literally did everything they could to make sure they did absolutely nothing to help the team. And this is where I get flustered, because here's the thing. If the Cowboys went out and made just 3 big moves, just 3 big moves, instead of doing the, scratch and dent pile, let's go ahead and get the geriatrics, the Amari Cooper, right? Or the Keenan Allen. That's going to be a 1-year, 2-year type thing. What if we went out and said, you know what? We're going to get a guy who's going to be here for another 3-4 years. We understand it's going to cost us some draft capital and it's going to cost us some cash. But what if the Cowboys actually did go out and get themselves a wide receiver who can get some separation, who can be a possession wide receiver? What if they went out and they said, we're going to go get Garrett Wilson? Does your perception of the team change just with that one move? Do you have a little more fear of the offense for the Eagles or anything else if they did get somebody like Garrett Wilson or DJ Moore? I think you do. I think you look at that and say, now they can spread the field. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you guys. Here's the thing. Brian Schottenheimer, when he had the Seattle Seahawks offense, he had Chris Carson was his main running back most of the time, who had one really great year. They were running the football about 2,000 yards plus each of those seasons. They were getting 30-plus TD passes every year. The key on that was they had Tyler Lockett and they had DK Metcalf. There we go. They had 2 outstanding wide receivers that spread the field every single year of it. Every year. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, which helped open up the running lanes even more. I didn't hear one Cowboy content creator challenge Zach Martin, calling him a liar. Interesting. Okay. Whatever you say, Drew. JD5 is him. I want to see DK in a star jersey. Well, it's too late. He's already been traded to Pittsburgh. But see, that's the kind of move that the Cowboys need to be making. Thank you. And great question there, Game Time. I agree with you. You know, if your whole idea is we're going to run the football and we're not going to get Dak weapons, then why are we paying Dak $60 million? Because when I look at just listen to this. Let me pull it up real quick. I'm sorry, I should have already had it here. But Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys 2021 stats. When you listen to what they did, it's just unbelievable. All right, check this out. Offensive rank was number 1, scoring offense and yardage. Defense was ranked 7th, scoring defense, 19th in yards. We couldn't stop the run. Our rushing was our problem. We were actually 19th in stopping the run. That was our Achilles heel. But we rushed for 2,100 yards, and we threw for 4,800 yards. Oh, shit! Okay? Oh, shit! Why? Because we could spread out the field. Listen to these numbers. So Dak had 37 TDs, 10 interceptions. You had Zeke Elliott rush for 1,002 yards, only 4.2 yards a carry. Tony Pollard rushed for 719. He was, the outside guy, 5.5 yards. You had a Thunder and Lightning. You had Amari Cooper, 865 yards, 8 TDs. Dalton Schultz, 808 yards. Cedric Wilson, 602. Michael Gallup, 445. And CeeDee Lamb with 1,102. We had weapons there, guys, and we were the number 1 offense out there. It's not that Dak hasn't produced when he's had the weapons. We didn't have anywhere near. You heard that list, right? Michael Gallup was only 445 yards, but still. Cedric Wilson was 600 yards. Dalton Schultz was 800 yards. CeeDee Lamb was 1,100 yards. Amari Cooper was 865. If you have weapons, you can spread out the field. And that's what they had. They had a multitude of guys. You had Zeke Elliott, who was your ground and pound guy. And you had Tony Pollard, who could catch out the backfield. And then the Cowboys decide, well, we don't need Zeke. We'll just have Tony Pollard do all the running. Tony Pollard's not an inside runner. You literally saw him get scared when he had to run in the middle. So you get rid of Tony Pollard, we'll bring back Zeke. Zeke is spent. Zeke doesn't give you what Tony Pollard does. You see where I'm going here? We're going cheap. I need this offense to get back to the weapons like we had in 21, and now that we've got a better, potentially a better defensive pass rush to try and make a run. And that's where you've gone this far to turn around the culture of the team, to get young. Why are we going back to being old with the receiver? Why not do your Dion move? Why not do your Charles Haley move? Oh, my God, Momo. Momo, sometimes I confuse you with Leo because I'm thinking, do you have a weed farm? Because you must be high, man. He's going to win 5 Super Bowls just because there's all kinds of quarterbacks that are out there winning 5, right? There's been 1. Come on, man. Another good tight end would make it. Oh, my God, yeah. Jimbo, can't disagree with you on that one, too. I love 12 personnel. Cat, I'm assuming that's a lady. Mark. Mark, yeah, okay, but Cat, I'm not. Cat, smart ass. That's why I'm saying I don't necessarily want Amari old ass Cooper. So I keep saying, give me a DJ Moore. I mean, DJ's 28, but he's got a lot more miles on him. I mean, less than Amari Cooper. Get me a Garrett Wilson who is still on his rookie contract. Shoremade, Momo. Injuries, Dak and him have good chemistry. Your worst nightmare. Okay. I don't know that he is my worst nightmare there, Momo. Well, I mean, we did with Cooper Rush. I'm sorry, Momo. Did you guys sweep us this year or something? Did you literally beat the pants off us both times? I think they sat your quarterback and your backup came up and won the second one, and I believe you lost the first one. Now, I know you're getting full of yourself now because now the draft's going to be in D.C. in 2 years, and you're getting a new stadium that you think that you finally arrived. I'm going to tell you a story here. It's funny, and I don't mean any disrespect to this YouTuber, okay? But I saw this happening, and I knew exactly what the outcome was going to be. Because if you, and Momo, you're talking about doing a podcast and stuff like that too. So this, and I bet you Rhonda does experience this and things too. But when you do YouTube, everybody has a number, okay? That number is a video that just takes off, that literally blows your channel up, okay? Right? And all of a sudden, because you have one video that goes really good, YouTube says, this might be a creator to follow. And they start promoting more of your stuff. And what happens is you think, oh, shit, I've arrived. Because I remember I had a few years ago, just this month, that everything that I was doing was just like gold. I mean, I could come in here and probably pick my nose. I'm not in my nose, right? You see that because I know somebody's going to go, I'm on the outside. But I could literally go in here and I could scratch my butt and I could probably and it was going to get 10,000 views. It didn't matter what I did. I was just like, shit, I'm on YouTube, Easy Street now. Oh, I'm on Easy. Yeah, okay. And that lasted for a month. And so there was a YouTuber out there, DoorDash. She was delivering, did DoorDash, right? And all of a sudden, she started doing videos on how much, she got monetized, and she started doing videos on updates on how much she made. And that's one of those things because people always want to know how much money, how much you make on YouTube? Oh my God, you mean I can make that? So those are always going to be popular. So all of a sudden, she just, 1 million views a month. And she thought, I've got it made now. It's on Easy Street, right? And I was watching, and then she kind of changed because now she thought that she was now figured it all out. She started doing videos about, and shout outs and doing her workshops. So you would send her a couple $100 and she would do your channel reviews. And I was like, Shorty, hate to tell you, this shit has no rhyme or reason. And I'm like, it can be short-lived because after that month where I thought I made it, it went back down to where it was before. It went right back down to where it was before. There is no such thing as, there's no rhyme or reason to this. And so she was up there getting 1 million views a month, and then it just dropped like a rock to just about oblivion. And that's what I feel like is coming for the Commanders there. It's possible because we've seen teams that have a great year, and the thing is, you have bad years, you get all the high draft picks and things, you get them together, you get a new coach, nobody's expecting you to do anything. Nobody expected you guys to do anything. Nobody knew your quarterback, Jalen Daniels. But what's going to happen is everybody's going to look and see all the film and figure out what his tendencies are. They may be subtle, but they're going to figure it out. And your defense sucks. And Deebo Samuels, I think, Deebo Samuels is kind of like Amari Cooper. I think he's pretty much he's done. He's got done. What has 1,500 views? Momo, what has 1,500 views? Yes, YouTube algorithms have been dropping our channels for 4 months, slowing, working itself back up. I'm just telling you that, what goes up real fast can come back down just as fast too. And there's no guarantees because ask San Francisco how quickly you can crash and burn from the year before. Yeah. They seem to have everything in there. They were so close. Overtime against Kansas City. And I believe they were considered Super Bowl favorites. And then all of a sudden a couple of injuries here and there and getting exposed. So, yeah, enjoy last year because it might be short-lived there, Momo. You got this arrogance that you're going to win the division. You know, oh, the Eagles, they're going to drop the third. I hate to tell you, bro. I hate the Eagles. I hate them winning. I truly, at night, cry myself to sleep because the Eagles are a good team and we got to face them. $1,500 views. When did you post it? 4 years ago? What are we talking that got 1,500 views? Momo grows weed. I might taste like Commander's ass. Okay. All right. But my point being is things don't last forever. And if you don't change what you're doing, if you don't evolve, if you continue to do same things that haven't worked, you're going to get the same results. And the Cowboys, they've changed a lot. They're letting Brian Schottenheimer be the coach, which is great. They're going through and they're getting, depth on the roster early in free agency, which is good. They're signing younger guys as opposed to guys that are on their last paycheck. You got guys right now that are looking and saying, I'm in the beginning point of my NFL career. I'm trying to get my second contract. So I need to play really, really well to determine my future. If I suck ass, I may be out of the NFL. So that's a good thing because that puts it on them. Leadership-wise on the team, the moves of saying, Dak and Micah, you guys are the leaders with CeeDee Lamb. We need you guys on the same page to flow throughout the rest of the team and leadership-wise. I think it's a great thing. Say what you will about my quarterback, but that guy's a leader. That guy is a leader on and off the field and puts himself out there. It's funny, whenever I say, well, Dak did this. Oh, you think he's the only quarterback? No, he's not. He's not. But my man's taking care of cancer. He's talking about mental health, suicide, subjects that people don't like to touch. And he's putting his money where his mouth is. And he gives full effort. You have your hamstring pull off your leg and tell me, how hard do you work to get back? You have your leg severed. Tell me how hard you work to get back. And takes all of the shit that you guys put out there against him and doesn't complain about the bullshit that the Joneses do. I don't know that there's too many people out there can do what he does. Momo, I'm the voice of football. No, you're not. You're not the voice of football. Not even close. I'd be happy with a second-round pick for DJ and a wide receiver as overflow. I agree with you on that one. And that's where you going to tell me that the move when we traded for Amari Cooper with that number one didn't pay off? Didn't it pay off for those years? You telling me that A.J. Brown, number one? Momo, you're delusional. Then go on your channel and make some more videos and keep it quiet over here. Are you talking, what, Momo has a channel and he's got a video on it? I didn't know. Okay, at Mark Hutchins, he tried to run and got hurt. See, I told you Momo smokes crack. He's smoking something, man. He's talking about Jalen Daniels is going to get 5 Super Bowls. What? What? Momo is the football with a dash of the runs. Yeah, Momo's got some issues. But I'm sorry. I actually got off of the platform. I am the voice of you two. Embrace my voice. No, Momo, you're the crack of you two. That's what you are, the crack of YouTube, Momo. Okay? Listen, you're the crack of YouTube. See, you see how, he's got to leave now. Look, you see that? Oh, I just got him on black. Oh, wait a minute. I'll be right back. I got to leave right now. See how them Commander fans are? Oh, there's no rivalry. We're superior. We're superior to y'all. You know, y'all just – you the crack of YouTube, man. You ain't no voice. You are the ass of YouTube. Get that shit straight, Bobo. All right, good people. I've taken up enough time here on YouTube, and now we've shown Momo's ass. I got to get out of here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people. I know that burned your eyes. Okay. I'm sorry. This shit's still funny. Momo coming. I'm the voice. No, you talking out your ass, bro. You talking out your ass. That's your voice. You're talking out your ass. Ooh. Okay. All right, good people. Let me say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate y'all. And remember to take care of yourselves, y'all. Remember, get yourselves checked out. Make sure you're as healthy as possible. You can find out too late if you wait to get yourself checked out. That's all I'm going to say. And I want all y'all here, even Momo and his crusty ass, okay? So with that being said, we got to get out of here. It's time to turn out the lights. This party's over.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.